I won £700 one time, £200 another time. It's tax free. Okay, so today we're basically just going to be going through the match betting basics, alright, and how I make money from a computer. Risks involved. So biggest risk involved is human error, alright, the wrong back and lay. So when people don't really know what they're doing sometimes, they'll place a bet and they'll not know the back and what to lay, and they're not doing the wrong thing. Basically your biggest loss, and a lot of people make mistakes, especially at the start. Gambling addiction is another big one. There's plenty of stories online of people losing all their money. You're opening the door to that if you're someone who's susceptible to that sort of thing. Loss through qualifying losses. So this one is the main loss that's associated with match betting that most people don't really discuss. So let's say you have an 80% retention rate on a free bet, and you might think that's £8 profit. Well, it's not even. It's actually about 75% profit, or £7.50. A lot of the time you'll have about 50p to £1 qualifying loss just to actually qualify for that bet. Wagering requirements with insufficient bankroll. I don't bother with anything that has wagering requirements. It's just a waste of time. A lot of people anyway don't have the bankroll to sustain or to keep up with the wagering requirements, and they're wasting times and they're doing it, and then they can't even fulfill it, so they lose a lot of money. Methods I use: early payout method. You can just go on ahead, place it, and then just leave, and just it does itself, Accumulators, I do a lot of no lay, cash out, and late lays. Late lay, it's not a term you'll hear in the match betting space, but it's basically just lay a bet off like halfway through. You can do it by cash out, or you can do it with Smarkets. So you're using the lock-in calculator on like Oddsmonkey or whatever, and you basically just lay after you've got 3 or 4 legs going. You're just locking in your £60 profit straight away. Rebats are the main one, and the biggest one when you're starting off, especially. With the cashback sites, you're doubling your profit basically. Like if you can get a £10 or £50 free bet for placing £10 on a site, and you can get £40 on the cashback site, well, why not double your money? That's £90. If I had known that at the start, I would have made a lot more money. My approach: so passive, time efficient methods. I see it as short term way to stockpile a lot of money and use elsewhere. I don't see it as like a long term solution. I'd be match betting for around 3 years at the most. All this here, like all go or placing mug bets and really trying not to get gubbed, for me it doesn't make sense, because unless you're looking to do this as a fucking career, which you shouldn't be. So I don't gamble as in take risky action and hope for desired result. On paper, I would probably be considered like the same with most match bettors as professional gamblers, or people who actually turn a profit consistently from placing bets. But I wouldn't consider it gambling, because we don't take risky action. We do things that are conservative. I don't do any offers with wagering requirements, locked-in accumulators as I mentioned, or anything time consuming. That's the main reason I don't do them, is because they are time consuming. You want to be making money fast and quick, using all these free bets and things like that and accumulators, and then using that money elsewhere for other pursuits. Why I do it and recommend it. That's what I mean. I can sit here listening to ebooks, podcasts or whatever, instead of just sitting in a workplace at an office, listening to people talk shit. It's a form of active investing, like Rich Dad Poor Dad books like that. The Way of the Wolf and things like that. You really need to change the way you think about money. And because you'll see your bankroll as an actual tool to make more money, you're not going to be instantly going to try and spend it. You're going to want to keep it. The more money you have, the more money you can make, and that's the way you need to see money. You can gamble without the risk. I remember during the World Cup, I had like £50 free bets and stuff like that, and the 2-up offer in like every game. And I was sitting there in work, I had it on the screen, sitting watching the matches, like, this is fucking great. I've never been so excited to watch a football game, because I don't really watch football that much. It's tax free. This is basically a mathematical example of the type of, because a lot of this here is basically risk free, where you have your qualifying loss of like 50p, and then anything after that, with your retention rate, it's just profit. But there are some things we do that don't always win. They have a strike rate, and mug betting is a stupid method. So 50p on a single number in roulette, like let's say even if it's in multiple bets on the same board, like covering 70% of it, that's what a lot of people do. And try and make money doing that, and sometimes they do. Most of the time they'll do it and they're winning loads of money, and then they place all the money and cover 70% of the board and lands in the 30%. Well, that's basically the same as just flat betting, and it has the same sort of EV. At 50p on one number, eventually you're going to end up winning £17.50, and whatever you use to qualify for that is your loss. It's 35 times and it's 137 odds, which means it's a bad value. If you do the 2-up offer, you're risking the same amount, which is 50p. Smaller, you get a higher strike rate, it pays out better. So the reward for the 50p, if you back a bet, or if you back a team on one of the sites like Bet365 or Paddy Bar, whenever they're doing this 2-up offer, your team goes 2-up, the bookies will actually pay you out. And what you can do then is you can lock in profit on the other side, 2-1 or whatever, or you can just wait. And this is what a lot of people do, they just wait 20, 130, 140 times. It does actually work, where you'll get paid out because your team went 2 goals up, and then the other team will come back and draw or go 3-2. If they draw, go 3-2 or 4-2, you'll get paid out, and you're basically getting paid out what your liability is and more. So you're basically getting you can make between like 150 to like £1,000. You can make more depending on how much risk you want to do in each one and how big your bankroll is, but that's basically what you're looking at. And I won £700 one time, £200 another time. I think we got to talk about, so have a good day, good luck.